Log on to NASCAR.com to play the AutoTrader.com Move of the Race sweepstakes for your chance to win a $25,000 shopping spree on AutoTrader.com and other great prizes. Jeff Gordon still leads the Sharpie 500. Second place has changed hands. Tony Stewart is around Rusty Wallace.
And Tony Stewart is gaining on Jeff Gordon, getting closer and closer. You see, talk about Jeff Gordon being very low on the racetrack. Wally, I think he's trying to use the apron of the racetrack to turn the car, to get the car a little bit loose. Talking about Jeff Gordon.
You might be right, PP. There's a lot of times, especially getting off of turn 2, if you're a little bit tight, you run as low as you possibly can. So you get down on that asphalt to give you more room when you come off the corner. And he's been doing that quite a bit, especially off of 2.
Next weekend, we go from tough old Bristol to tough old Darlington. Another great one coming up for you. Coverage starts Friday with Bud Pole qualifying at 3 Eastern Time on CNN Sports Illustrated. Saturday, our doubleheader, the NASCAR Busch Series race, followed by NASCAR Winston Cup Happy Hour. Coverage of that begins at 1 p.m. Eastern Time on TNT. And then next weekend, the Mountain Dew Southern 500. One of the gems of NASCAR racing. 12:30 Eastern Time. Our coverage begins next weekend here on TNT.
These cars have been going to Darlington since 1950.
The original super speedway. Brett Bodine had been back on the lead lap. Benny mentioned that earlier. He's about to get overtaken by the leader, Jeff Gordon. And Rusty Wallace starting to fall back into the clutches of Dale Jarrett. And Kevin Harvick, for that matter. Steve Parks there, too. So despite having led the most laps so far tonight, Rusty Wallace is starting to fall back into traffic. Bill?
Yeah, Alan, Rusty Wallace he made an air pressure adjustment last time in, and he's just called into his crew and asked them to undo that adjustment or take the air pressure back to what it was. Now, I'm going to guess, which you should never do with Rusty because it usually gets you a lecture the next week, but I'm guessing that they made that air pressure adjustment for that loose handling condition when he's deep into the run. Early in the run, it's affecting him. He's tight. So he's asked him to change that back. It's good for the shorter run, but not for the longer run. We'll see what happens.
Guys, let's talk a little pit strategy here. Probably only one more stop left in the race for these guys. They were in at 2:35. That left 265 laps to go in the race.
If they get a caution flag within their window of being able to go the rest of the way, we'll see a lot of guys make their final pit stop.
And that'd be another 30 laps from now. We'll get them into that window, right?
Probably.
160, 170 laps. Elliott Sadler ran 163 laps on tires here in the spring and won the race. As you look down from our U.S. Army Skycam here on Bristol, an Army of one. Find out more at GoArmy.com. Haven't talked to Dale Jarrett here in just a little bit. DJ started 7th. The dreadful luck of the past few weeks that has dropped him 354 points behind Jeff Gordon in their race for the NASCAR Winston Cup Championship. He lost 107 points by finishing 41st at Pocono, another 105 at Watkins Glen with his 2 trips into the gravel trap and a 31st place finish. And then last week in Michigan, the late flat tire that dropped him to 37th at the checkered flag. Cost him another 89 points.
You know, they got themselves into a real quandary in Michigan last week. DJ reported in he felt like the tire was going down, but they need to run 5 or 6 more laps to get to the window so they could run the rest of the way.
Just be smooth. Don't overdrive it right now.
Well, he's about to lose the spot.
Todd Parrott talking to Dale there.
So last week they tried to run to get to that window, and the tire went completely flat in that 5 or 6 laps, and that's when he brushed the wall.
So Jarrett now back to 5th, being pressured there by Steve Park. Behind Park, you've got Jimmy Spencer right tightly in line. Spencer's running in 7th.
Man, they get around this racetrack so fast.
17 seconds or less, even at race pace. And there goes Park.
I don't think Dale can keep his car down on the bottom or as low as some of these other cars right now. It actually looks like he's a little bit tight right through the center.
If you're new to NASCAR, tight, the term the drivers use when the car won't turn in the center of the corner the way that you want it to. Won't turn in the corner, period, the way you want it to.
He also could be in the same situation. If you're going down into the corner and the car's loose getting in, you'll use that banking. You'll let the car slide up the racetrack to catch the loose.
Here's Bobby Labonte. Defending NASCAR Winston Cup champ, started 16th. He's chipped his way up to 8th, Marty.
Yeah, Alan here at lap 314. As you said, Bobby Labonte running 8th. That's impressive for a couple of reasons. Number one, because on lap 100, he was running 29th, so they pick up 21 spots here in 215 laps. That's pretty good. Also impressive because this is not Bobby's best track. He has never finished in the top 5 here, and they have a terrific run going. And the thing that amazes me this week is that Bobby Labonte is 7th in points right now. That's the highest he has been all season long.
Brett Bodine's car is getting the black flag. Some sheet metal flapping from his machine that NASCAR wants attended to.
And we see Kevin Harvick has caught Rusty Wallace and just blows right by him.
Rusty needs a caution.
Will put Kevin Harvick into the 3rd position.
Cautions that were plentiful in the first 100 laps of this race.
But if Rusty gets the caution flag, can he afford to stop?
Oh, you have to. If your car's handling that poorly at this point, don't you? 180 laps to go.
You have to stop.
I think so.
But he's doing everything he can right now to get to that point where he's got to make a pit stop.
Dale Jr., 21st place, a lap down. Matt?
Well, Alan, I talked to Tony Erie Sr. He said that the car about 150 laps ago was the best. Dale Earnhardt Jr. said it was all night, but now it's gotten tight in the middle and very loose off. But their biggest hindrance tonight has been pit stops. In fact, after their last stop, which was the 17-plus race, Tony Sr. said to all the over-the-wall guys, get behind the box, get together in circle, and focus. Let's get back on track. We are not going to do anything tonight with 17-second-plus stops.
Not anything good, anyway. Boy, Ken Schrader's got his hands full. He's a lap down. He was 6th not that long ago.
Yeah, Kenny, I watched Kenny about the last 4 or 5 laps, and he has been way up the racetrack.
He really doesn't like this set of tires. He just radioed in. We've got a problem. 36 pit crew on the wall, vibrating very bad and very, very loose. 36 car.
He's just lost 21st position, or he's about to Todd Bodine.
And depending on how bad that vibration is, that could be a loose wheel. Hopefully not.
You hear the crew getting ready for Schrader. Jerry Nadeau is on pit road under the green flag as well. But it is all good for Jeff Gordon right now. Keeps leading. He's going to overtake Rusty Wallace for most laps led tonight. We'll come back to Bristol in a minute.